Hello and welcome to SaltWire today for Tuesday, June 20th. I'm your host, Kate Walker. A submarine designed to take tourists to the bottom of the ocean to visit the site of the Titanic wreckage is now missing for a third day. This is a view of what the expedition typically looks like underwater. One pilot and 4 passengers were on board when it went missing on Sunday. The U.S. Coast Guard says the vessel could stay underwater for up to 96 hours, but there's no word on whether or not it had resurfaced because all communication has been lost. The submersible is called Titan, and it's a tourist ocean gate expedition that costs $250,000 U.S. per person. The trip starts in St. John's, Newfoundland, before heading out around 400 miles into the Atlantic to the wreckage site. The U.S. and Canadian ships and planes began swarming that area yesterday, about 900 miles east of Cape Cod. The U.S. Coast Guard dropped sonar buoys that can monitor to a depth of 13,000 feet. All hands are on deck to help find it. Maritime Rescue Coordination Center Boston requested assistance from Joint Rescue Coordination Center Halifax in the search. The wreckage of the Titanic, which sank in 1912 after hitting an iceberg, lies on the ocean floor at a depth of about 12,500 feet. The Titan sub usually takes 2 hours to descend to the wreck. The first dive was set for Sunday morning. Emergency crews were called to an apartment building fire in Dartmouth this afternoon. An elderly lady as well as a dog could be seen rescued from the building. Police say the fire broke out in an apartment building on Oak Street. A number of streets were closed in the area as first responders dealt with the fire. There's been no word on the cause of the fire or if there were any injuries. We're hearing the story of one woman who, like far too many in HRM, does not have a place to call home. 50-year-old Holly Franson has been living in a tent since March at Cogswell Park. A 5-gallon bucket serves as her toilet. She's been on the wait list for double hip surgery. She developed osteoarthritis after 2 serious car accidents when she was a teenager and uses a wheelchair to get around. She lost her home in the spring of 2022. In March, she wound up at Cogswell Park in Halifax with her son and pet dog.
I need housing now. My son and I need housing now.
And you were in the rain.
I was pouring down rain last night. Everybody knows that thunder and lightning, it rained. Like, look at my tent. Like, look. Everything's soaked. We're sleeping in wet blankets.
She's on income assistance that provides her with $370 a month. She says she visits Souls Harbor as often as she can for a hot meal. The Department of Community Services says this fiscal year it's investing $8.2 million to improve homelessness services, hire more housing support workers, and increase supportive housing options. But Franson says the need for housing is immediate.
It's depressing, defeating, it's hopeless. It's traumatizing. With the rats were in our tent last night. My son just said to me before you came, I finally realized what it is to be a parent, a good parent. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, remember when you asked me if there was rats in the tent last night? And I said, no, Mama, there's no rats. I said, there was, wasn't there? He goes, oh yeah, Mom, those rats were in our tent.
The housing crisis in HRM continues to worsen. According to the Affordable Housing Association of Nova Scotia, since May 2022, 230 more people have found themselves chronically homeless in the city. They consider anyone without stable housing for 6 months to be chronically homeless. As of May 23rd, that number had hit 711. A change of command ceremony was held in Halifax today to welcome the new commander of the Maritime Forces Atlantic and Joint Task Force Atlantic. Rear Admiral Jose Kurtz took over for Rear Admiral Brian Santarpia today. She's the first woman to assume command.
I must therefore thank the Canadian Armed Forces and the Royal Canadian Navy leadership for their trust in me, demonstrated by appointing me to this significant position. This command is truly unique in terms of its combined force generation and force employment functions, both of which are crucial to the Navy delivering on its mission.
And today is not the first day she's making history. In 2009, Kurtz was the first woman to command a Canadian warship when she took charge of HMCS Halifax. In 2019, the then Commodore was appointed to lead NATO Maritime Group 2, one of 4 naval groups operated by the 29-member alliance. It was the first time a woman was given such a command in NATO history. She also served on Ville de Quebec as it fought pirates off the Somali coast. The province is chipping in more help to small businesses that have been impacted by the recent wildfires in HRM and Shelburne County. Originally, there was a one-time $2,500 grant for those affected in the evacuation zones. Today, it was announced that the Small Businesses Wildfire Relief Program is now available to businesses outside the mandatory evacuation zones that were closed for at least 5 days because of the fires. The government says they've heard from businesses that were outside the evacuation zones but still faced with unexpected closures. Applications can be found on the government's website. On to weather now. To see what's coming up in the forecast, we're going to check in now with our weather specialist, Alistair Alders.
Thanks, Kate. Well, the last day of spring was relatively cloudy here in Halifax. Temperatures also a bit cooler than I think most would like, but we have brighter skies and warmer temperatures to welcome the new summer season. This evening we'll have a few clouds and the temperature near 14 degrees and a bit chilly walking out the door first thing on Wednesday morning, near 7 degrees, but lots of sunshine. Summer officially arrives at 11:57 a.m. and into the afternoon we'll have a high of 25 degrees, except 14 along parts of the coast due to a developing southwest wind near 20 kilometers per hour, but lots of sunshine in the forecast throughout the day. More sunshine also on the way for Thursday, and temperatures will be a bit warmer except directly along parts of the coast. Friday now looking like it will be more clouds than sunshine, but still relatively warm. A chance of showers, though, does return during the upcoming weekend, with cooler temperatures heading into next week. Kate.
Thank you, Alistair. That's all for now. For more extended video and full online articles, stay tuned to SaltWire.com, and you can find us on social media. I'm your host, Kate Walker. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Turn off the noise. Tune in to what matters. What matters is information you can trust. What matters is the news you can use to make life's big decisions. Informed healthcare choices, casting the smart vote, or opening that business. What matters is understanding the world around you. Let SaltWire connect you to what matters with unlimited access to the information you need for only $20 for the first year. Become a member today.